Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there friends, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Today in the Bible Bistro we're going to look at verses 12, 13, and 14. Now this is going to end the first half of Psalm 44. So come back next week, and we're going to pick up in verse 15, and we'll study verses 15 through 28 next week. So just the first half this week, we've looked at so far the teaching of the fathers, the confession learned, the lesson learned, and the confession given, and then the personal experience. And then we had the Selah there in verse 8, and boy, did we have a change after the Selah. The sevenfold curse comes in here. You've cast us off, put us to shame, made us to turn back. You've given us like sheep appointed for meat. Now we come to verses 12 through 14, and we have the 5th, 6th, and 7th parts of the curse. Verse 12, Thou sellest thy people for naught, and do not increase thy wealth by their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. Why is it then that we have these curses? Is this just the capriciousness of God, that he just all of a sudden decides that he's going to curse his people? No. No, there's always a reason. And if you go back, and I've already suggested Deuteronomy chapter 28, if you go back and look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, there in that 14th verse, he tells us, And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. So something happened. They didn't hearken to the voice of the Lord their God. They went after other gods. They went off to the right hand and to the left. They didn't observe his commandments or his statutes, and so the curses came. And in Psalm 44, we have the example of that. Now, the first half is so wonderful because it leads to victory. The teaching of the fathers leads to a personal confession, which leads to a personal experience of faith. But then we have, after the Selah, something has changed, and we just are going to assume that they have gone after other gods. They have turned aside from his commandments in some way, because these are just too much like the curses of Deuteronomy 28. I think, verse 12, if it wasn't so tragic, it would make you kind of smile, not in a ha-ha way, but just sort of the way that it's said. You sell your people for nothing, and you don't even increase your wealth by their price. So it's almost like you're saying to whoever wants to buy them, I just want to get rid of this. You've said that before, right? You've probably said that about something in your house that you haven't seen for 12 years. You find it, and you're like, why am I keeping this? And so when you go to sell it, you're just like, whatever, give me 50 cents. Give me a quarter. Just take it. So that's the idea here. He's selling his people for nothing, and he's not even going to be benefited by it. He just wants to get rid of it. Verse 13, You make us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. So the neighbors, of course, see a little more intimately into the setting, and so they become a reproach, not because of what God has done necessarily, but because of the way they've behaved. And that gets out to the neighbors, and God makes them a reproach because they become kind of stinky to their neighborhood. Scorn and a derision to them that are around us. Why? Because of the way they're behaving. Even those who are godless know the difference between godliness and selfishness. Even they know, and they see it, and they testify now to it. And then verse 14, You make us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. So the byword is that hissing sound that they make as they pass by. It's, Israel is such a they're such fools here because they had it so good. They had the blessing of the Lord God. They had His favor, but now they don't. And as the trade caravans make their way through that land, they hiss and they shake their head as they pass by what once was a great nation. This is a warning for us as well. You know, when we have learned our lesson and confessed our faith and experienced it, are we really going to turn our back on what the Lord has done? Are we going to turn our back on Him, on what He's told us, on what He's done for us? Are we going to turn our back on our deliverance, on our deliverer? Are we really going to think that it's our arm and our sword that has got us the victory? Are we really going to do that? Because if we do, there are curses that wait. They wait for every one of us when we turn our back away from God and to the faith of other things. Well, I hope you'll join me again next week, and we'll pick up right here in verse 15 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.